everybody flash my name with the trials and tries. Any fans of the channel will know I am very partial to a good visual novel. So when Seth from the Strategy Informer reached out to me to let me know about The Mask of the Rose and then contact the developers on my behalf to offer me a key, I jumped to the chance. So first of all, thanks to Seth from the Strategy Informer, link will be in the description, for putting me in touch with the developers, Fail Better Games, and then so much for Hannah from Fail Better Games for actually giving me a key. So what is it about? A marvellous romance with a hint of murder. Lose your heart to a stolen city in this game of amorous intrigue. Seek love for yourself or your friends. Help a murdered man find justice, and watch out for the bats. So probably, I can't remember the name of the game now. Minuet Ambition and Minuet in Power is probably, I'm thinking it's probably quite similar to this. Same vision, but anyway, I like visual novels, and when I was off the just I thought I'd jump at it. Right, it's released today as well. It's depending on when it actually releases, because I'm under embargo. It's due out around 6 PM UK time on Steam. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's have a dive in. There is music, but I've turned it down a little bit just because copyright strikes and what have you. Play. Yeah, I do like visual novels. It's February 1862, with no warning until London London fell through the surface of the earth. Phew. I think it's happened in real life as well, having lived in London. Okay. This was meant to be the year of progress in industry, the great exposition, trams and new sewer system. Instead, we find ourselves dwelling in a cave. If you've ever been in London, I think a few people down there dwell in a cave already anyway. I'm only joking. It's October now, the fires have been put out and the bodies have been buried. Oh my god. But the future remains unimaginable, the time before impossibly distant. The past. Who were you? A dock worker's child. My father worked the docks, unloading ships, and my uncle was a sailor. We were on the right side of the law, but the same couldn't be said for our friends. The docks are allied with the working classes and the criminals. Okay. A child of the gentry. My family had an estate on the surface. My father was a magistrate. All that is unreachable now, of course. I had the bad fortune to be in London during the fall, and now there's no going back. But I do have a few connections here. The landed gentry, hobnobbing high society, and with the constabulary. I tell them our family kept a tailor shop with aspirations. We dressed our customers better than we dressed ourselves. Shopkeepers have contacts with society, but their own origins are more humble. And we also have some contacts among the artistically inclined. A housebreaker's child. My father was a housebreaker. His father's highwayman. We came down the road no longer. Doing our crimes on the horseback. Then okay, fine, okay, cool. I like that. Oh wow, there's loads you can unlock. I like that. Okay, undertakers. Well, there's loads you got to unlock for. I like that. Right. Do we go dock work? I'm thinking tailor, kind of middle of the road. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's go with working class and the with criminals. I'm gonna go with this one. I think that's me. Yes, I'm a dock worker's child. Down here, your name is whatever you say it is. Often there's no one left to remember who you used to be. Some people hold tight to their namesake card before. Some reinvent themselves completely. Myself, how should people address you? I prefer strangers address me as Monsieur, Madame, Mademoiselle, Miss, Madame, Sir, my Lord, my Lady, Citizen, Comrade, Captain. Let's go with Comrade. That's what I got. Secretary, Sister, Brother, Reverend, Intendant, Monsieur. Let's go with Comrade. I like that. Comrade. Although my friends call me Yarrow. Let's be original, shall we? Flash, that suits me. I wonder what effect that has on the game. That's me. Flash my friends, comrade to strangers. I'm loving that. I don't know, I just love stuff like that. I just love visuals. That's how I was addressed even before London fell. I'm a different person down here than I was above. Down here I'm finally able to use a name that always fits me. Okay. Oh, well, I've got to select one. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Present. Choose a camera that best represents you. Oh. Oh. Should we just do it again? I wonder how important this is because I wonder how important this is because I could spend hours on this. Oh God, I don't know. I'm torn between that one and that one. I'm gonna go with that one. That's me. Evening. In the Neath, a true ally in the Neath. A true ally means everything. When I find people to be close to, I'm open to friendship, but no romantic emotions or physical intimacy. Friendship and physical intimacy, but no romantic emotions. Friendship and romantic intentions, but no physical intimacy. Whatever comes my way. I'll just take whatever comes. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Any port in the storm. I'll be looking for both romantic feelings and a physical connection. Okay. Friendship and matchmaking are possible too, of course. Okay. Comrade Flash, dock worker's child, a passionate heart's desire, passionate romance. Okay, I'm happy with this. Go on then. I wonder how much that affects the game. Right now, I'm meant to be helping with the census, finding out who still lives in my neighbourhood. The first census results are due tomorrow. If I turn them in, I get paid the first money to come my way in nearly 2 months. If I don't, then I'm going to disappoint Grizz badly. She knew I was in trouble, so she went out of her way to find me work with her own employers. She even gave me a badge to show my affiliation. Your item required: badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. The front of the badge looks almost like a constable's badge with a lion and a unicorn blazed on it. The back of the badge is kind of symbol I don't recognise. Hot to touch. Okay. I want to know how the fall happened. I kept it with the clothes I have from before the fall and a few odd items I found more recently. Change my outfit. Okay. Hat. Go beheaded. Okay. Hatless. Out of the notes. How do I do this? Journal. Pause. Barefaced. Fake but vibrant colour. Oh, okay. So stop. So I don't have the right. So I've not found these yet. So these are things I own. Okay. Well, okay, that'll do. I like to belong on the dock. I look like I belong on the docks and look like I might speak to my mind too much. The best suggests I have more power. Okay, well do. Evening, Chris. Oh, I thought you were up here. She glanced at my badge I'm wearing. I suppose I should be glad you're thinking about the census, even if you didn't get around to leaving the house. I react to the way I react to many things these days. I dare to name the frightening things I dare to name the frightening things out there. I lie. Okay. I thought I'd wait for a change in the weather. Lovely snow, perhaps. There's no sunshine down here. There's no yellow pea soup fogs. There's no rain except occasionally a fine mist. Londoners lost half their topics of conversation before when we fell. Come tomorrow evening and we need to have at least a few census forms filled out. I'm going to be the one explaining to Mr. Pages. And if that happens, I'm not going to help you with your employment prospects again. Grizz works for the Ministry of Accounting and Recounting. It seems to agree with her. She wears trousers to work and comes home at all hours. It's important to her being taken seriously by these employers. The next thing to do is characteristic 2. Compliment to research control. Be open and build trust. because I think we need to keep this person sweet. My mistake, to be frank. I didn't like the look of the city today. Too many dark alleys. I will see. I will see. We have something to turn in. You still have some time tomorrow. Gives me a hard look, as you could stuff something stuff some integrity into a person just by glaring hard enough. What do you think of the questions? They're written in the most peculiar spiked handwriting, and there are punctures in the paper in random spots. Teasers, though, I think that's her handwriting. Jokingly defend my reading ability, admit I haven't read them. I was going to review them in the morning by the refreshing dawn light. There's a dawn here. The light tomorrow will be exactly as it is today, as it is now. The only difference is the angle of the hands on the clock. Here, try the questions on me. Say you've just knocked on the door and I'll come to answer it. Yes, what do you want? Introduce myself as an agent of the ministry, show my badge, read the first question. Good evening. On behalf of the Minister of Recounting, I have a few questions. Oh. How lovely. I'm so grateful these ministers are looking after us. Straightforwardly accept her performance, sarcastic accept. Read out the first question. How many people live in this establishment? What? How many people live in this establishmentation? Blimey. That's a word, establishmentation. It's not. My CV is enthusiastic embellishes of the language. If you like, you can translate into questions that are more likely to be understood. Right. How many people live in this establishment? That's more like it. 4. The landlady, Mrs. Horatio Chapman, and a young man named Archibald Reed, myself, and a 4th character very disreputable. Possessive, he might not be the picture of respectability herself. Build trust. I'm not sick to person, Grace. If I seem disreputable, you only have to ask about it. Yes, maybe. But you might expect me to answer any of your questions. But then you might. Okay. Sometimes I'm in the mood to keep chatting, and sometimes I want to get to the point. Linger over the Census in order to keep chatting with Grace. Yeah, because the impression should be quite important. Is anyone in this establishment enamorphicated or impassionated? What does this even? Yeah, exactly. What the hell does that mean? They're asking if anyone's here is in love. Just ask that. No. Teaser. Ask whether she's sure about herself. You are certainly not concealing a deep dedication to someone. My betrothal was not of my choosing, and its end was a blessed relief. I'm not carrying any feelings from that time. Move on. Might as well try and pry. No. And this moment, of course, Archie has to turn up. Okay, he's this fella. Archie's a medical student. He hadn't finished his training before the fall, but has plenty of work now. Right after the fall, it was broken bones and cuts. Lately, there's been fewer wounds and more diseases. I wondered where you were. Greet for ask Archie what he needs. What are you looking for? There's something that needs explaining. As I went this morning to visit a patient, and what do I find? Pasted upon the wall. His upper broadsheet. There's an decree from the Minister of Cartography and chirography that all maps and atlases are to be surrendered or put in the fire. That's deliberate. That's his accent. It's your folk making these rules, Grizz. Promise Grizz that we can be trusted. With others she knows. I wonder why. I'm keen as well. We're trustworthy. I'm even working for the ministry. You have to actually do something. You've yet to actually do anything for the ministry. I have the badge and I've been trained. Will you be asking your Mr. Pages about these maps? The Mr. of Geography and Cartography is new. I don't think they even that existed yesterday. Let her draw her own conclusions. Very well. I'll see what I can find out about this, but it might take a while. Okay. Well, okay. So if you go your mouse, all I've done there, I've gone mouse wheel up, and then brings you, that's nice. Brings you to the previous conversation. So Grizz, this is only created yesterday. Okay, fine, cool, happy with that. Flash, please do collect at least a few census forms by tomorrow from whatever Londoners you're able to find. At the end of the day, I'll find you and we can take them to Mr. Pages together. Ooh. Deliver a filled census form to Pages. Gives me a long look before she goes. Well, next time I'll come in without knocking. I'll not come in without knocking. Maybe I'll cough a few times so you two can, so the two of you can separate. Ask whether Archie might be jealous. Contemplate the possibility that Grizz has interest in me. Register polite non-interest. Grizz is not for me, I think. There might not be any feeling on your side. Oh, but she doesn't look that way. Look at me that way, or her ratio. She might have a look of being fierce, but if she was to choose someone, then her heart was to be broken. Might be disappointed, or might be feeling we are things she couldn't plan. But she'd be sadder than a hanged cat. Let it go. Good night, Archie. Yeah, so Grizz might fancy us. Sleep well, then, will you? Okay. Interesting. I keep track of everything in my journal. What conversations I've had, the plans I've made, how I'm feeling about other people. View the day in my journal. Conduct more census interviews if there is time. Wait for Grizz to take me to Mr. Pages. We've got census Pages what? We've got to do that. Okay. $260 since the fall. 6 days remaining in the season of confessions. Okay. Interesting. These papers aren't what they used to be, but sometimes someone is still printing broadsheets these days. Then the headline today read: Her Majesty's Palace shuttered, the royal family remains unreachable. Saving. Okay. Live the fall. This will not cause time to pass. Okay. Recall the past. I'm always reliving Londoners last night on the surface. I tried to put it out of my mind, but it's still there. The dimming of the sun at 3 in the afternoon, the sky turning the colour of rust. The horrible bang and the cloud of dust from all directions of Westminster, the tolling of the bells. But also we rode down the street livid in the garb of the palace, shouting, "In Her Majesty's name, go indoors." And then the sky was full of bats, more bats than I thought could exist in the world. Oh, bats. Wheeling, shrieking, defecating. How lovely. It mentions bats in the description of the game. People went indoors then. If they'd known if they'd ignored the cries, those that had no house crowded into the churches and under bridges. Even now I don't understand. Both. Why Parliament collapsed? Not mentioned that. Yeah, why did they know? Again, like, yeah, I want to know both. Why did they send that question? It means it suggests they know something. I don't know that. The palace has been shuttered since the day the royal family do not emerge. Surely if they had known something that was coming, they would have departed London. True. It was the only city that fell. The rest of England, we assume, remains above. So how do you know that? I reckon it's a tornado I heard or something similar in the Welsh Hills back in 1760. Yeah, light in the sky and a noise like a thunderclap. That's not a tornado, love. It's a plague. It's a plague of Egypt. Okay. Then a pleading look to Grizz. Arguments don't happen in front of Grizz unless she chooses to let them. The Great Stink seemed like a supernatural visitation at the time, and there are perfectly scientific explanations for that. So it was too. Problems with the pipes, my eye. My mother always said that if there was a judgment on London, then the ground shook again. I believe we can blame Mr. Basil Getty's excavations digging about London causing a seismic disturbance. And what did he find? Doing there, but a cave of 3 million bats. Is that what you reckon? He's Scottish, obviously, because it's the way it's written and the way it's pronounced. It sounds very Scottish, but anyway. There are stranger things beneath London. That was the beginning of it, but we were down there for hours and hours. The sky darkened and it didn't return to normal. Once around midnight, Grizz went upstairs and opened the door in the street, but she came right back down again. She said the cobbles were galloping about. It wasn't safe to walk outside. After the first bit, the memories clouded and get confused. I have trouble keeping track of which came first, which came later, and whether I'd imagined something. I spent a lot of days like this, thinking back, trying to piece together the bits of the puzzle. As if I could realise something that would make sense of it all. I hope the underlying story has to working out why London fell. Adjust your current outfit. Nope, I can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, we'll leave that on. We have no others, so that's what we're doing. We've got that. Okay. Head outside. So, boarding house. Let's go to Thrall Street. Okay. Take the census with Harat. Okay. Take a quick drink. It's worth being mindful of how others will perceive me. What role I play and what I can or cannot say is constrained by my clothes. Fair enough. This is true before the fall, but it's true now. Names, identities, and relationships have all become so unsteady and unreliable. Harjit admires duty but does not always care for the ministry. It's hard to say what impression the badge makes on him. I should change. I'll change actually. No, I'm not. I'm going to stay as I will. That'll do. I'm going to stay as I am. I think I should change that. Okay. Always care. Okay. Not quite right. I'm satisfied with this. That side, Mrs. Chapman's are not easy. Thanks to the family history, I know where to find the immigrant neighbourhoods of London. Tented Grounds Synagogue, an old synagogue, and one that was the wealthiest, was weathered and one that has weathered the fall very well. Whenever I need to find more of them, it's Harjit who helps me. I have something for you if you want it. If you says very new Admiral's hat, perfectly good condition. I found it near the docks, no sign of an owner. I can't wear it myself. I thought someone like Mr. Chapman's house might get use out of it. Lady Griselda. Trimmed with gold braid, it makes a person look like a respected representative of the Navy. Wearing it gives me a commanding, slightly curmudgeonly presence. Make an impression on other people when I wear them. They make an impression on me too. Sometimes I'm inspired to say something I wouldn't otherwise. I think this peculiar hat makes me a bit gruff and commanding. Put the hat on my head and consider what to say. Mutter and ingraciously influenced by the hat. Mutter ingraciously influenced by the hat. Take the hat off again. Mutter ingraciously influenced by the hat. I hope that wasn't afflicted with lice. Leave it in a cupboard for 2 weeks if it concerns you. You're welcome. Explain your work of the ministry on the census. Has asked me to work on the census. I see. Well, it's to collect everyone's name even before the fall. I agree. It's peculiar of the Ing. Certain information is needed for planning. Would your answers be the same as they were then? Not exactly. What do you wish to know? Just report in your household whether you live alone or with others, that sort of thing. One at a time I shared my lodgings. That's prior to the fall, but my former companion is missing. That's making it clear for the lodgings. For the census, that is. This is not a matter I would explain to most people. You and I know one another sometime, however. I think you would hear me out kindly, but if you'd rather not carry my secrets. Lest the ministry learn too much. At the moment, what you tell me, you tell the ministry. So perhaps it's better that I do not know. Unless you would equally confide in Mr. Pages. An honourable answer. It's best not to promise what you can't sure of giving. This, Mr. I feel inclined to say. Silence falls. At the moment I'm playing a game of trying to keep everybody happy. Okay. Okay, let's have a think. Ask how the neighbourhood is doing. All well on the streets. After I walk with a little further without getting lost, but sometimes I lose the place again. Do you recall the second-hand clothesman who used to be around the corner? I'd forgotten. I admit I'd forgotten about that. I haven't thought of it in some time. First I thought the shop was destroyed, but it's moved 2 streets away now, the whole building. Oh. Ask how is that possible? How could that be? The stars wouldn't stay put in the skies. Perhaps the street is also free to roam. I should be on my way. It doesn't help to watch the same place for too long. Consider Consider that whether there's more. My opinion remains to be seen. I should make it clear that the ruminations are gone. All is as it was. At least time for one more errand before supper. Head out. So we've got. What are they up there? Afternoon. Okay. Resume. Journal. Census pages 2. We've got 2 census pages. Okay. Paid ain't got any money. Okay. Let's head outside. So we've got Thrall Street. That's Thrall Street. Back. Or St. Gardens Synagogue. Look for potential census fillers. Let's do that. Let's have a quick drink. Oh, lovely. It's hard to guess what outfit will best go over this environment. I'm satisfied. I'll stay as I am. Oh, I've got here. The peer over my badge. I'm not familiar with that ministry. It's new. We're on the way to services, so this is not suitable time for ministry business. We're here, Rachel, or you can stand a bit to the side if you want, wherever you're comfortable. I'll speak to this person. Won't take long. Shouldn't anyway. Try to draw a person collection, given my family were dock workers. Flash. So I thought though I don't want to meet you, and it's a plane you don't like to move either. It's a 4 that's done it. You can keep to our old circles these days. We can't keep to our old circles these days, can we? David and Rachel Landau. Rachel is my sister. What can we do for you? So these are different things. I'm not sure what that means myself, so I'm going to go with that one. Acquire assistance with the ministry census. The truth is essential. I see. I'll answer your questions, comrade, if you answer mine. Call it character research. Fair enough. You're having particular dreams down here. A bit that I have. Archie has patience with just this complaint. The doctor will almost a doctor. He's being called to see people with strange dreams constantly. Does he report them back to you, or better yet, does he keep a ledger? He only gives the outlines. He doesn't give away the secrets of his patients. Commendable. Inconvenient. Go ahead with other questions, comrade. Let's do that for the time being. That's simply about the household. Others in your household. Our home contains myself, my brother, and our housekeeper. It is a grand establishment. We had another housekeeper for many months, but she passed away, and Phoebe, our servant, had lost her place with a neighbour of ours. Ask whether David has romantic commitments. Do you have any romantic commitments now? For he's utterly without prospects. Fair enough. He stays at home and reads. I haven't done well. He warns me of Spencerhood, and he's headed very much that direction himself. It isn't the same thing at all. I agree. It isn't. I have my work to support myself. My sister is a famous authoress, civilised in Lily of London, if you can believe it. What's become of my funds since the fall? You'll have to marry if you don't mean to end your days a pauper brother. You'll have to marry if you don't mean to end your days a pauper, brother. I rely on you to support me in my failing years, sister. Are you mad in love? Oh, not recently. I was in love once, or so I imagined. Charlotte Coringham. She and David had an understanding. She converted in any case. Becoming Christian suited her social aspirations. Rachel. Yes. I take leave to dislike your unworthy cities as heartily as you dislike mine. Milton is a yellow-eyed, flash-dressed, hot-headed creature at least 2 decades older for my sister. Rumours of devils are frequent to the city, perhaps Milton is one of them. David, I hardly think he and Charlotte are comparable. Wait, hint for more information about Rachel's unsuitable friend. Oh dear. The rules of Platzat have broken somewhat in the fall, haven't they? Nothing of the sort. He's a devil, or rather he belongs to a group using that name. Oh. Milton is an artistic inspiration. If you're not a writer yourself, comrade, you cannot guess how much the fall has disrupted our sort of work. Characters have certain tastes, certain preferences, certain prejudices. All I just do is imagine the new circumstances and their reactions right themselves. But now we've all been a little bit cracked by the fall, and how does anyone behave? Who can say? You've always said you wrote from observation. You can still observe. Since the fall, there's no pattern in what I see. It's only home that makes sense to me. And I cannot make my whole novel about my brother and sister lighting candles at Sabbath. Oh, they're Jewish. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I was only converted from what? But, yeah. Okay. Ask why not out of curiosity. Why not? Publisher wouldn't tolerate it. The Lidl wouldn't print it. The rest of the world must come into it somehow. Milton helps me sort the rest of the world. He can make sense of anything, even of our countess running down the streets in a Piagnio. I have no idea what one of them is. Do you understand? I misbehaving Viscountess. I think anything else is stranger. Let me say, comrade, Milton smokes rose-scented cigars. He helps me. But Rachel. Simple ask. Are you married, in love? No, I wouldn't say that. Milton's only a friend. Just as well. In the times before, you would have never darkened the door for such a person. Ask David about his work. What he does for a living. What work are you in? We have money in the funds and interest in several businesses in London and elsewhere. The time was when I used to be very busy in answering letters from Livorno from Amsterdam. These are my times extensively occupied. You haven't been kind to me. Did I give you some accidental offence? Realize that I dislike David. I did not intend to give offence. I think well of you. I reassure you. David makes a few flattering remarks on my better points. I'm glad the questions have been answered. Let us try not to run into any similar trouble in the future. My opinion remains to be seen. I shake my head to clear it. Okay, yeah. Got 4 census papers. It was time to go home. Go straight to the table. I've got no clothes to change into. Grizz was waiting for me. Whatever census forms you have, it's time to take them to Mr. Page's. Says that I'm ready. I'm prepared. I said, I hope that's true. Come with me. Once I've shown you how to reach your ministry, you can come back on your own and turn in others. Grizz has me gather my papers. With luck, Mr. Page has decided to keep you on. Hopefully. With even more luck, he won't mind being asked how the Minister of... With more luck, he won't mind being asked about the Ministry of Geography and Cartography. I'm assuming that's map builder writing. Let me know, not cartography, but the other one. With that, she leads me outside and down a side street to a side street no longer named. We tack through this like a sailboat beating upwind. We never go straight to at the bazaar. More often than not, it's hidden by some intervening roof alternating starboard and port. But time I look up, it stands closer. Finally, we find ourselves standing in its shadow under its wall. Before us is a low door that once I think belonged to a solicitor's office. Grace takes that key, made of something other than metal, and unlocks the door. Mine a pile of papers. I've already sorted them out 3 times. Miss Fraser is very particular about the ordering of the documents. Now, where has he gone? Usually he's here by this time of day. What the devil? Ah, there you are, sir. We are just coming to bring you the census document. Well, that gives me a lot of questions. First instalment of many, I'm sure. There's a tone in the voice, somewhere between fondness and a nanny guiding an untutored child. Ignore the mood between them. Yeah, just ignore it. These are Pages. 5% flash. Flash, this is Mr. Pages. The whole of the Minister of Accounting and Recounting is under Mr. Pages' direction. Stand well back and acknowledge the introduction. In good health then, are you? Flirtatious with a sipcon of my riddlance. I have no idea what it even means, and I apologise for butchering it. He's got all signs of like vibes I don't like. There's a surprising high voice for someone so large. What was that? Mr. Page has been interviewing a Frenchman unhappily stranded on our shores before the fall. You can imagine how that might affect both mind and vocabulary. Agree there must be challenges for Mr. Page. Hang on. Wonder whether it's challenging for the Frenchman. Mr. Pages, yeah. I'm still thinking French. You still thinking French, yeah? Words get stuck in my head. What have you bought us? Hand over everything at once. Yeah, give them everything. Turns over a page. The most intrigant. What is this language he's using? It gives me a shiny penny for my trouble. So newly minted and has a portrait on the back of someone who is certainly not the Queen. The face on the back of the coin stares at me until my hair prickles on my neck. Ew. It reminds me of a debt owed. And I don't want to remember. And my breath hitches and slows and resumes. Okay. Goal completed. Provide pages with 7 census forms. Okay. Census forms. Turns over the page. Okay. There are other coins in there, and a few things that aren't even coins. Okay. Oh, okay. Buttons, pearls, probably false. A horse head, carved from ivory or bone. We are grateful for your assistance. I want to know what this thing is. I wonder if this has got some kind of steampunk element to it. There are never too many papers. Okay. Oh, he's got a... Okay. Then there's something it is looking for. Something it keeps looking for that it cannot find. So I was at Rachel's Census. Mr. Pages pays 2 pennies. Then it puts the census page in a stack of others much like it. It weighs it stacked down with a paperweight. If I look hard at the paperweight, my eyes sting. Okay. It looks through the sheets of the form in its usual way. It doesn't find much interest in the account of Rachel's romantic life, but it's much more intrigued by her employment. She invents love stories from nothing. There are any number of novels printed every year in London. The price of paper was recently reduced. These stories we will acquire. If they are suitable, then we will also acquire the authoress. Off to arrange an introduction for Grizz. Novel has been printed one chapter at a time in the magazine The Lily of London. Does its story pertain to lovers? Are they disappointed and crossed in their aims? This story is yet to come to an end. I see still out of a kind to be shaped. I'll make sure she and Grizz are acquainted. Then Grizz could commission her to be sure the novel is suitably written. Yes, do this. Help Grizz ask Rachel Landau for writing work. But for now, perhaps I've earned a question. Why are maps are to be outlawed? Why aren't we allowed to have maps and atlases anymore? We need them more now that London isn't arranged where it used to be. I believe the Ministry intends to resurvey the territory. In the meantime, it wouldn't do, to have people using fallacious maps. The territory of the Neath is anti-despotic. The territory of the Neath is anti-despotificated towards what? Ask what's that supposed to mean? Beg your pardon? What the hell are you talking about? Aye. So it means reference to the seismic activity. Basic things are still moving on. As we learnt from Hadget, perhaps concern that further events would disturb the arrangements of London streets. And now I think it's in these circumstances of existence inaccurate maps may cause alarm. Perhaps better not to create in the population an expectation of a consistent layout. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. That is enough of my official duties for the moment. Okay. She makes a couple of remarks about how useful this will be, though. She stops short of asking whether I'm in debt to Horatio. I've forgotten, though. Pay Horatio half my back rent. Oh, okay. Okay. As we make our way back to Horatio's, Grizz asks me what I think of Mr. Pages. She tries to make it sound like an idle curiosity. Promise to keep up with the job, but at least something better comes along. Make a lot of Pages Taylor. I tell her I feel Mr. Page must look like a boon to road makers throughout London. She replies that judging by the ink stain, she does not think he replaces the wardrobe terribly often. The rest of the book is taken up by speculation about Mr. Page's taste in gloves and boots. Before I go back inside the house, she reminds me. We have many more people in this neighbourhood to survey for the census. You know how it's done now, so you can collect them, take them to Mr. Pages yourself. I have other duties, and I may not always be there, but Pages as well, I'm certain you won't be harmed if you visit Mystery on your own. Say nothing of what I'm thinking. Grizz is silent. Okay. Archie finds him upstairs after dinner. I can't see the miniature cartography. There's something not right there. If you let me show you what I'm thinking of. Watch with interest. Please be my guest. You see what I have in mind in a moment. It's a way of sorting out my thoughts. When I started, it was to think through a treatment. Well, it's good for all sorts of story schemes, things that might be true or things that don't have to be. When he's looking, gets out some bits of paper written in his own handwriting. Watch closely. Learn about assignment. Learn about creating a story. From time to time, you'll be making stories about things you discover underneath. Okay, let's go. Sometimes other people ask you to bring them a story. They might want a true account or they might want fiction. Either way, you'll come here to create the story they want. Go on. Who? This is a slot. Contains elements of your story. This is a who slot, meaning it can contain characters featured in the story. Select the slot to continue. There are characters tokens you could currently put in the slot. As you meet characters in the game, you gain more options. Select one of the tokens and fill the slot to continue. Archie. Excellent. You can select the slot again to choose someone else if you'd like, otherwise press continue. Yeah. The characters in the stories you craft here can be driven by motors, and motors can spur them to act. Tokens for actions and motors are presented by fragments of text rather than pictures. Okay. Assign a token about motive and slots to continue. Okay. How second character features a friend, no victim. So let's continue. Who? Mr. Pages. Hang on. If you assign a token to that slot. Okay, that's kind of not what I was wanting, so can we change that now? Have you learned world? Okay. Motive feared the other. Mr. Pages was afraid of Archie. Something you've asked the story, certain elements can't be changed. You can change everything else of that story, but not this piece, okay? Feared the other. Okay, so Mr. Pages is afraid of Archie. Okay. Finally, sometimes you can put into an unknown slot. This means that you think there's another possible answer. You may explore the world to find out more. Building a story with some unknown elements gives you a hypothesis you can ask characters about. Okay. Oh, so it's kind of like it's like fill the final slot to continue. Look for unknown actions. New mysterious exposure crafted. Question of fear. They formed a theory to ask people about. When you get a message about a story completed, then you know kind of story you've built, you can go and ask other characters. Right, so it's a way of putting together. It's like a detective board. Then basically, you can put all these people together, and it will get you some kind of idea of what's going on. Whenever the work's done on the story, finished or not, you can leave the story crafting board and go tell other two characters about your idea. I think what I did with that I put down was terrible. You see, I'm coming at it. I'm trying to work out what Page is about with the ministry. It's an asking Greers, you've seen that. Develop Archie's theory as of Mr. Pages is up to. Mr. Page is having Mr. ruling forbidding mapping underneath, and there's something happened presumably, but what? Unknown purpose. Assignment, development theory, Mr. Page is up to. Motive. Protected London. Action. Obeyed. Pages unknowable. Page clear. Complete. You think Mr. Page has some notion of why he's acting so? but it doesn't come from me without knowing what it is. If you don't mind giving me space all manner of stories about the people that live below, then you can go on with it. But if you'd rather another way to making your bread, I have a friend below that can take what we learn and put it about in the papers. I tell him I know someone who might bring back a few secrets of the ministry. Make up these questions. If you make up the questions you want to ask, you can investigate with anyone who might answer. Earn your pennies helping citizens rather than those creatures in the blankets. Okay. Yeah, might as well. I'd like to know what's going on as well. It sounds like it doesn't require upright penmanship. That makes it superior to Census right here. Don't it just? Me and the truth has the same value. I'm glad to hear you say so. It's no thing fighting the darts on your own. With Ursula telling me I'll leave the fidgets, and Gris saying I should be quiet, and the others and trust our road-wearing masters, I should tell you to get your sleep. If I'd met the like of you in Scotland, I might have never come to London. Okay, so basically we can have an affair with anybody. I don't show it. Okay. Okay. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. So we're crafting ideas. Right, so we've got lots of things. Continue. Oh. Okay. Days since the fall. 5 days remaining of season of confessions. Continue. Morning. Another morning. Another newspaper. This morning's lies open on the table. Orgiastic parties of the legendary Viscountess threaten the virtue and reputation of ordinary citizens. Saving. Now it's saved. I think it's a perfect place to stop. That's fascinating. I'm absolutely fascinated that. There's so many questions of like what's going on. Let me really think about it. Oh, the obvious question for me is finding out who Mr. Prejudice, because he doesn't look human, and find out how London fell into the niche, as it's called, and why they can't get out. Because sure, there's a massive why they fell in. So as they look up at the sky, they see the outside. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you plan to play this, and obviously if you're watching this after releasing, you've played it. Let me know what you think about it. Anyway, thanks very much to the devs for the key, and we shall definitely come back to this, and I shall see you later. Thanks very much. Cheers. See you. Bye.